Do it.
Welcome back to the second part. There probably will only be a second part to this episode. Because as a reminder, the next episode will probably be the last one of this arc. Tanira, Godric,
Yes.
and the other three squires are... I mean... burying somebody in a swamp is tough. Anytime you're working with an aquifer, I mean, it's just nasty out here, right? They lower him into a hole filled with water. It's going to take them probably the better part of an hour to get to that portion. Almost certainly Karen will be eaten by something. McPhee, I don't know how religious you are as a monk. I mean, obviously... traditionally, monk has referred to a religious order, and in D&D, almost every monk I've ever known ignores that entirely.
Pretty much. My religion is my craft.
He is praying to the god of thieves for strength, guidance, the good health of the emperor, and to take his anger from him, to take from him his rage. And it looks like he wants to drop to his knees to pray, but he's like aware that you can't really do that well in plate armor in a swamp. So he has just basically kneeled against a converted log that has turned into a kind of pew for him. And after a few minutes of muttering, he turns to look to you silently.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, two of you just stare at each other.
Do those prayers actually work?
I certainly hope that the prayers for the good health of the Emperor work. Whether the prayers call me, or if the god of thieves truly takes my rage from me, I don't know, but I have faith.
The rage will never go away. You just get better at managing it. We're sorry here. Sorry about your friend. For what it's worth.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It's never easy losing someone.
I don't think his death is any of your faults, but I think we had a plan and it was abandoned. I think that someone was gonna die like that. I think someone was destined to die to this beast. It is simply too strong, even with our numbers.
I didn't realize going in, but definitely after that happened, I think you're kind of right.
I don't know who's in charge with your adventuring group. I don't know what status you have among them, but if you are going after the green dragon and whatever is there, the 4 or 5 of you need to sit down and have a frank discussion about how this is going to go. Whether we come with you is going to be determined on your willingness to work with us and our willingness to work with you. We can't do this against the dragon. A wyvern is a considerable threat, don't get me wrong. I mean, this would make us storied legends among the Order of Imperial Sky Knights to kill a wyvern on foot. But when we go up against the dragon, I need everyone there to recognize that there's a fair chance none of us come back out of the lair again. We may accomplish nothing,
I think my team and I are very well aware of that.
Okay.
They can consider themselves heroes. I do not. But we are willing to fight if it means protecting people.
What do you consider yourself as?
Traveler. I would never be so bold as to consider myself a hero.
So Rian takes the great sword off of his back, which takes an effort, right? This isn't like a Witcher's sword. This is a kind of sword that it would normally require a page or a squire to help him get off of his back. He's just that strong. And it's still, it's like he can't just like go like this. He has to
It's a
like
whole ass
swoop
Buster
it
sword.
like this. Yeah, I mean, we're talking like guts buster sword. Like it's a big sword, but this might be a fantasy realm, but he's not fantastic. Yeah,
Something like that.
it's like that, but I think it's thicker and
Yeah,
it's
probably.
definitely heavier for sure.
With 2 Qs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's considerable.
But yeah.
Oh, that's a flamberge, sure. Yeah, that goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it does.
Takes 3 whole business days to look at that sword.
He takes it out
That down.
and says, "You call yourself a traveler, and you were fearless before the attack of a dragon rampant. If I thought you wanted it, I would offer you a paid ship in the Imperial Sky Knight Order. You are a traveler, perhaps, but that is not what I see. You throw yourself into these situations. You accept risk without question.
You're right. I don't want it. Maybe not yet.
Don't get me wrong, Tanira. I know what you did on the airship. Everyone knows. We just don't talk about it. That sort of judgment is referred to the courts, to the Emperor, to the gods. And you'll probably face punishment for what you did. But
Sure I will.
kind of person willing to throw themselves in front of a wyvern, that's not just a traveler. I think you think too little of yourself, friend.
I think you think too much of me.
Could be. And he has to lift it up so that he can, so like the side of the great sword's
He has to like do
hilt
this
is,
and then like
well, no, he has to get it in sideways because that's how it's across his back,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
has
yeah.
to get it above the I want to say hilt, but no, the thing that you hold it in, the scabbard, and then drop it into the side of the scabbard so it'll land down there. So I mean, he just had a huge adrenaline dump, and then he went outside. He's tired. It takes him a little effort. Again, this is something 2 people should really be doing. But
I can help him put it back in.
all right, yeah. He just, snaps it back into position and says, talk to your friends. They need to make some decisions about formations, about fighting. I have some ideas about how we can fight together, but we're going to be fighting something the same size as that in a location that it controls, that it knows well and we will know nothing about, and there may actually be 2 dragons. So we may need to split
The green and
into
the black one.
Yes, we may need to split into 2 parties. It'll be just like several MMO mid-boss raids.
We have A group, B group, and C group.
Yeah.
Yes, we definitely need a chat because there are some things that happened in that cave that I've never seen before.
I wasn't going to talk about that.
Yeah, I'll get more information, and when we regroup, we'll lay everything out on the table just so this doesn't happen again.
Okay. I need to start making a strategy, and then I suppose I've got a letter to write. Just nods, and then he stomps his way back down into the Rock of Jith. Who do I want to go to next? I think Sparky and Ithrix.
Yep. All right. So, I mean, I just went over there to make sure he was okay.
Sparky
after...
is tired, but other than that, seems fine.
You did good. It worked.
Yes, thank you. We need to talk about what happened with Godric.
About which bit?
What he has done is an abomination against all dragonkind.
Getting in front of the knights?
No. Taking the soul of a draconic being and placing it before a divine entity to be judged. There will be repercussions for this.
Is that what happened? I mean, I saw the black light, but I didn't really know what was happening.
Yes, you didn't notice when you came back that his pickaxe is now an artifact of great evil?
I mean, when we came back...
Yeah, so
from where?
Sparky, as you know, claims to be a neutral, purely magical dragon that uses magic for magic's sake. And you've only actually seen Sparky do that once here at the Rock of Jith when he summoned the storm. You can tell that Sparky is about to do something they don't want to do because they know there'll be a price for it. Because once again, rather than use magic for magic's sake, he's going to use magic for someone else's sake, yours. And he shares his memory of what you all being taken away by the devils and then coming back. And you are noticing the discongruity between your memory and what actually happened. So he doesn't know what happened
in hell, yeah,
but he does know you were summoned by a devil, and when you came back, the pickaxe was an evil artifact now. And I mean, he literally just watched. So, like, you've seen him both try to. I mean, he just tried to offer his soul to the Wyvern to bring it here, and you've seen the Drakes try to do this exact thing to Sparky, pulling souls out. It seems to be something intensely important to dragons and personal, and they, if you believe Sparky, they predate the existence of divine beings, and they don't agree with divine beings' ideas of good and evil. They are the original arbiters of what is good and what is evil, and you don't know what the relationship between dragons and gods are right now, but it sounds like a god judging a draconic soul is a sort of unprecedented, super bad thing for dragons.
All right.
I mean, Spark is not, just to be clear, Spark is not angry about this. They're just telling you, like, there will be consequences for what has happened here.
I'll talk to Godric, Sparky. I didn't know. I don't know how this happened. But
It is the pervasive nature of evil. It will offer you temptations and bargains. You will accept them for power, never realizing that you have damned yourself in the process. If you are to speak with Godric, you may as well speak with Tanira.
Did I change when I came back? I mean, if we don't know, then what if I made a deal there?
You haven't noticed?
I mean, what?
All of you have been changing at a rapid rate, have you not? You have grown stronger, more hardy, able to dodge and accept attacks. You have grown in strength, access to new spells at an unprecedented rate. You have only known these people for less than 14 days, and already You are so much stronger than when you began. You do not feel the divine channel around you? The God of nature has opened a divine channel to you.
No, I've
You asked for a
experienced,
blessing, and it was given to you by the High Priestess.
and I've experienced visions to that. But I'm more scared about what happened to Godric. He said Godric's pickaxe changed when we went to hell.
Yes.
What about the rest of us? Something happened there?
Nothing happened there, as far as I can tell. I was not there with you. But you should know that imagine a lightning bolt slashing through an area leaves behind it a channel. And that is how thunder is created. Yes? I suppose your people don't have the advanced knowledge to know this, but take it from me that this is true. The divine channel that has been opened between the four of you has allowed someone else, an evil entity, to also offer divine power. Your growth, your unprecedented growth, is as a result of two divine beings pouring blessings upon you. You are changing faster than you should. Even now, I can see the power settling around you. Your muscles restitch themselves. You grow stronger, more capable. Our bond between our souls becomes a greater union. Do you not feel that around you? You do not think it is odd that you have grown so strong so fast? There is a price for such things.
So how do we stop it? I mean, are we in danger?
Do you want it to stop?
Well, I don't want it to hurt you or my friends or...
You asked me if you're in danger. We just offered my soul to bait a wyvern into a fight where a man died. You are always in danger. As long as you are alive, you can die.
I mean, look, that's part of what we do, though. We're adventurers, you know. That's part of our...
Are we? You and I are not adventurers. You are a Drake Warden. You are a knight.
But that's not all we do. I mean, we help people. We went out to fight the Drakes, even though we were told to stay behind. That was altruism. That wasn't our orders, or that wasn't destiny. That was just trying to solve a problem with as few people hurt as possible.
You do not call someone who does such actions an adventurer. You normally call them a hero, do you not?
Well, I don't think anybody can call themselves a hero.
I will call you all heroes. Even Tanira.
Well, then, if that's the case, then you are too, because you're part of this group. And we couldn't have done what we just did there without you either.
I am not a hero. I'm a dragon.
I mean, can't you be a heroic dragon? Isn't heroic an adjective?
Wow. Okay, so listen. Sparky has never considered that one could be a heroic dragon before. I will think on this. It's clear to you now that the conversation has abruptly ended with the concept of adding heroism to dragons.
Okay.
You just blew this dragon's mind.
We'll pound it out and then go, and I'll go speak to Godric when he's free.
Well, Godric, you're free.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
We buried Karen, right?
Karen.
Okay.
Buried.
Is there somewhere that I can take Godric aside privately?
I think after watching my pickaxe claim the soul of both the dragon and my grandmother, I think
I want to be clear here. Your grandmother is dead and you can't access her anymore, but she was not sucked into your pickaxe like the wyvern was. She acted as a conduit.
I think he's off contemplating somewhere, because this thing that was supposed to have been like ancestral and passed down for generations is now he just watched it claim like a member of his family. So I think he's probably somewhere outside the cave, like sitting on a log somewhere, like looking at it and contemplating.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably studying the little molten crack that he hasn't seen before.
I'll kick the dirt, Hey, Godric, are you okay?
Okay is a relative term. This is my actions have caused me to lose multiple ancestors, and that weighs very heavily on my mind.
Can we talk?
But I think he like scoots over and pats the log, and you're free to sit down.
Right, I'll pop on the log. So, hey, do you happen to remember going to hell?
I mean, I've been told to go to hell many, many
I
times.
was knew that was gonna happen.
I don't
So
think I've
I
ever
was-
actually been there.
I was just talking to Sparky. Sparky was saying that yesterday, when we were here waiting for the Sky Knights to return, that a djinn turned up on a magic carpet and told Tanira that she was being served for something and took us all to hell to defend her. And that when we came back, Sparky said we didn't remember any of this, but I saw the memory through his eyes, and he said that one thing that changed when we came back was that your pickaxe was different. And I remember that it was broken when you fell, and now it looks different. I don't know. I've got the memory of it always being that way, and I've got Sparky's memory of the change. And what he's saying, what happened when you killed that wyvern, is that the whatever evil entity has enchanted your weapon has claimed its soul, a draconic soul.
So, AP, with him telling me that we went to hell, would that like jog my memory, or would I
Make
remember?
an Arcana check.
Can I offer guidance?
His favorite check.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah,
I can
I-
offer help as well.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
if we have a Christmas episode, I know what I'm getting Godric. It's an Arcana check.
So would you like? Would that help take the place of me doing an Arcana check or
No.
giving him advantage?
You don't need to do. He needs to do the Arcana check, and you can give him guidance if you have the guidance spell.
Okay, I will give
So
him guidance.
He gets advantage plus guidance.
Which is a
Okay, so
D4.
roll this with advantage.
Yes, and a plus 1d4.
Is it D4 or is it D4 yet?
Yeah, guidance 1d4.
Advantage and 1d4. Jesus.
Oof, you needed that guidance.
Yeah,
and
it's
you needed
rough,
that
my
advantage.
dude.
Yeah.
God.
You don't know what memories you're missing, but you are. I mean, it's disturbing to you in like a
Deja vu.
well, I mean, it's more. I don't want to say skin crawling, but like you start sweating, and not just because you're in a temperate swamp forest that is totally moist. You are aware that something is missing from you. Something has happened to you, and you don't know what it is. When you look down at your pickaxe, the like lava core at the tip end glows at you menacingly. Someone puts a hand on your shoulder at that point. Godric.
I look up to see who's put their hand on my shoulder.
You've seen this person before. They were the first dwarf you ever summoned. You've never summoned the same dwarf twice before. And this person is not covered in green aura like they were the first time. They're almost like Force Ghost. They're transparent.
This is the one when I first saw him. I saw like the deep dwarven like magic in his eyes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Grogu.
Okay. I think I stand up and turn to like face him. And I wait to see his action, like what he's doing.
Kethrix, you can also see this person. You have no idea where they came from.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like I've seen his ghost before, but
Yeah.
I'm sort of.
This is not that.
Okay. Well, this is definitely Godric's moment though. So I'm standing and looking, but I'm not participating in whatever's going on.
The figure turns to acknowledge you, nods, and says, "The name is Urist.
You spell that?
Urist.
Okay.
Kithrix Dustblade.
I know who you are.
Dustblades.
I think my like body language, I'm like squared up to him, but I'm not trying to be like threatening. I want to just show that like whatever I'm prepared to receive whatever he's got to tell me.
Sit down, son. Be comfortable.
All right. I'll do what he says. I'll sit down.
You got questions? I have answers. Ask them.
What just happened?
Which part?
The part where great grandma, we saw the I'm assuming the dragon spirit go into her, and then
to you she's your 6-time great grandmother. For me, she's a ancient granddaughter, I suppose you'd say. She's been dead a while, lad. You didn't kill her.
I mean, in that sense, whenever any of you have shown up, if something's happened, I've never been able to call on you again.
That's the nature of it.
I don't know what any of this is.
Well, I suppose I'm the right one to ask then. So here's the thing. She's dead. She's been with the king of the dwarves and his high court in the heavens a long time, longer than you've been alive by several ages. You aren't plucking her out of her well-earned eternal rest. Let me be clear here. Nor do most you're not taking out of a place. You are summoning a reflection of their essence. He sits down next to you and gestures for Kithrix to also sit down on the same log, so you're all just like looking into the forest together.
Yeah, I'll sit down. Is he speaking Dwarven or Common, by the way?
He is speaking Dwarven.
Okay, I'm just
Okay.
nodding along like I understand, but even though I don't.
Things have memories. He takes a look at your pickaxe and he says, a part of us is left behind on things. We dwarves, we're good at imbuing rune magic, the magic of our fathers. And he says it very weirdly. Like, he was gonna say something else, and then he says our fathers into objects to prevent the leakage of magic out of them. But I'm sure you've heard that strong warriors or noble knights, particularly quick-witted bards, their personalities will leak into the objects that they hold. A deck of cards used by the greatest liar in the land might suddenly be able to shift its face to whatever you're looking for. A sword wielded by a dragon-killing warrior might spontaneously gain the ability to seek out dragon flesh and even part the mist of magic to tell you where it resides. This is a deeper leakage of magic, the magic of the soul, which is not what we dwarves use. You are essentially a soulmancer. The people that you're calling on are not necrotic puppets. You don't call upon the dead. You call upon the memories of people that you know. And because you're a dwarf, you can call upon the memories of all dwarves in your ancestral line.
So
Sometimes the people that you call upon might still be alive. But if they die in combat with you, they're not really dead. Most of them.
that
Magic
is an
is
extreme relief
chaotic.
to hear.
Magic is chaotic, son. It's wild, and it doesn't always work the same way twice. But the things that you're calling upon are not the souls of the dead in the way you understand them. They are reflections of who people were in life. When they're destroyed, we do lose something in this world. But their divine, eternal soul and their seat in the Dwarven Pantheon don't risk that, with a couple of exceptions. The fungus guy, that's one of those exceptions.
I knew it.
He's an ancestor of yours that's still alive and should be dead.
I have made an oath to go back for him at some point.
I know.
What is happening with my pickaxe?
I don't know.
Is this
I mean,
in its current state? Is it a like a profane and insult to our family and what it was supposed to stand for?
I mean, we're dwarves. We have good gods and we have what some would call evil gods. I wouldn't use those terminologies for my fathers and mothers, but no dwarven god is technically a devil, but devils can serve them. And this is a devil forged weapon now. It's power at a price. Is it an insult to your family? Well, I don't feel insulted by it. I think it's a questionable choice, but I don't know many people that would wade into combat against a wyvern wearing what you're wearing. Not without a battalion of dwarves behind them, a few bolt throwers, and some very strong rune magic, which I'm noticing none of you have anything particularly magical, which makes you either insanely brave or brave and insane.
Probably a mix of both. So this weapon is now evil, is what you said?
Aye?
Or it's tied to evil?
It's definitely taken souls somewhere beyond your kin.
And how are we speaking? None of the
High Grudgekeeper spoke at your trial, just as a reminder.
Yeah. Aside from that one incident,
You've never spoken to any of them before. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, as I said, magic is chaotic, it's messy, and sometimes exceptions can be made. I'm a bit more powerful in these kinds of things than the other dwarves, but this is the last time you're going to see me. I came because you need help. You need answers, and you're strong enough to ask for them now. Look, he gestures to Kithtrix and says, your friend here is a cleric. They don't need to know magic the way we do. They don't need to understand its intricate workings. We have to work hard, like wizards, to earn the magical knowledge that we have. A cleric asks a divine entity for help. You understand this?
Yes.
The gods don't speak the same language that we do. A cleric goes stronger by learning divine, pure communication with the gods and asking the correct questions. So they may say, I want to keep someone alive. And when they are weak in faith, that may simply manifest as a basic curative spell. And when they are strong of faith, it may reverse death itself. But knowing the right way to phrase that question is the providence of a experienced cleric. You are a soulmancer. You also operate in a similar way. As you become capable of navigating your heritage, you'll be able to ask us for more things. Like you've asked me to be here to answer some questions for you. Whether you did that intentionally or not, I can't say.
May I ask of you one more?
I've got some
one
time.
more favor.
Yeah.
I want to hand him the pickaxe and ask him that when he goes back, he takes this with him, because I don't feel like I'm worthy to carry this. I don't think it stands for the heritage anymore that it originally stood for. It's been modified and changed so much, and carrying something that even my ancestors can acknowledge are evil. I don't want that burden to be with me.
I mean, just to be clear, it should come across that he doesn't care that it's evil. Like, he doesn't see good and evil as like, oh, evil is bad. He sees evil as this is quick and dirty.
Yeah, but
he takes a pickaxe and he says, listen, I've already told you I can't take this with me, but I can take from it what burdens you. And no dwarf should be without the pickaxe of his father, mended by his wife. This ain't the original haft. You and I both know that. And this head, well, father forged that personally. You shouldn't be without this, but I will take from it the evil. I will take from this item its soul.
I think that's what needs to happen. I know that to be a dwarf is to suffer, but I cannot bear something that is.
Who the fuck told you that?
I think that's my own personal belief. I mean, can't bear
the dwarves have
evil.
always told you that is what it is to be a dwarf. Like, that's a cultural touchstone. Urus is just like, that's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever fucking heard. Is that what you people have done with it? Suffering? What's the point of being alive if you're suffering? What about living? Y'all profane the name of your ancestors.
Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah, I mean, he's not directed specifically at you. It's directed at all currently living dwarves.
Well, let me ask, how can I best live my life in a way that would honor you and the rest of my ancestors?
Live. Have tons of dwarven children. Invent something. Be happy. Do great things. You've done enough. I've seen you suffer at the hands of your own kin for something that you barely had any control in. I've seen you do great things. I've seen you do terrible things. I'll always be watching over you, even if I can't come back here. You've already impressed me. You live, which is more than a lot of people can say. So just keep on living. Not for suffering. This is a test. You know that, right? Life is a test. You're put here because the gods made us. The dwarven gods, to be clear. Life...
The correct gods.
Yeah, exactly. Life is forging. You follow the path of being a dwarf. And you are battered, you are heated, you are put into a shape. And in the end, that shape will be judged by the dwarven gods, and you will be placed according to what you have done. Life is a test, and you are being tested. And from what I can see, you're doing just fine.
I think I don't know if I could give this this ancestor a hug. So
Yeah.
I think
I'll take it.
okay.
I mean,
I think,
he slaps you on the back. It's actually deeply reminiscent of your relationship with your father before you were banished.
I think that hearing that from this entity, from my ancestor, is such a relief to Godric. It's like feeling the weight of a mountain taken off of his shoulders. And I think there's tears welling up in his eyes, but he's trying not to let it out in front of his ancestor. And he's just giving him as big of a bear hug as he can and just letting that tension kind of go.
Yeah, he like kind of rubs your back to get you to, if you need to cry, just do it, you know. Kithrix, you're just watching two dwarves in like a bro hug.
Yeah, I sort of look away awkwardly, you know, like I don't want to get in their moment, you know.
I think Godric tells him, I think that I've heard what I needed to hear. I do ask that you take the evil out of this weapon.
I can't take the evil out of the weapon. I'm going to take everything out of the weapon. Gonna have to start anew with it.
I think that's what needs to happen.
He puts his hand on the pickaxe and he says, "Goodbye. Goodbye, successor."
I think I give him as close to a dwarven salute as I can, and I tell him goodbye.
As he starts to fade, he like pulls. You've seen people pull souls. You've seen people pull age. He pulls the soul of the pickaxe out, and with it the wyvern. And the wyvern sees him and is afraid. And he goes, "Oh, that's right. I beat the fear of me into your ancestors." And he starts wrestling with it on the ground of the forest as they both begin to fade.
I think at that point I'll pick up my pickaxe, and
It feels different.
I think I
It
take
feels
a couple.
strange in your hand. Like it's a new pickaxe you've never held before.
Yeah. I think he takes a couple practice swings with it, puts it back, and says,
It doesn't feel right. It feels odd.
Yeah. I'm going to turn to Kithrix and say that I think I have quite a legacy to live up to.
Did he tell you what you needed to hear?
Yes.
All right. I think that the next step, though, is we need a group huddle.
Agreed.
Group huddle.
Do you want to? How much longer is this going to take? Because we're at the 6 o'clock mark.
So I'm going to say, because this could go this could go a bit. I think. Like I don't know. It's about you. I don't know whether you were.
We'll do the third part.
Looking to finish.
No,
Yeah.
we'll do the. It will not.
Yeah.
It probably will not be a full hour, but we'll do the last part. We'll be back in a few minutes, friends. About 5 of those minutes, and for 3 of them, you'll be forced to watch some advertising if you're watching live. Sorry about that, but I'm trying to make it as seamless as possible. We'll see you on the far side.